Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And I hope you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. We have a lot to talk about, so let's dive on in. And let's start with, of course, CBS News with the highlight saying GameStop and AMC shares are tumbling as the stock, meme coin craze fades. Now, as we really look at what's going on here, it's very similar to 2021, and it's so funny because it almost feels as though we are living in a simulation. Because as we do start to see a lot of these things repeating, like 2021, one thing comes to mind: when do we top? When is this market done? And are we close to it just yet? Well, in my opinion, I do think that we are extremely close to altcoins going absolutely crazy. And yes, that does include XRP, but are we at that point just yet? In my opinion, no, we are not. We're going to talk about why. Now, first and foremost, we have over here GameStop AMC tumble as 2-day rally in meme stocks loses momentum, Yahoo Finance, and of course, CNBC. Now, I have my ad blocker on for them, but basically they're saying GameStop AMC extend gains, but broader meme stock rally frizzle. Now, as we really look at this, we are going to look at this chart here that got posted by Crypto Kaleo over on X. And it's time for alt season. And yes, it is, right? It is time for altcoins to go crazy. Now, is it going to happen right now or overnight or tomorrow? It's questionable. But we have last time GameStop made this type of a move marked a top for Bitcoin dominance, where we saw a solid up 5 months of up only for alts versus Bitcoin. Run it back turbo for round 2. Correlation: when it's time to be a degen in one market, degens are gonna degen in all markets. And I actually had a comment come up on one of my videos that was addressing this. They said I got into crypto actually after GameStop, and it was from that move that I got into crypto. And yeah, it is something like that. It's a correlation where you have these, degenerate moves happening around stocks, and everyone's like, all right, well, I want to get a taste of this a little bit more. It's almost like a drug, right? They want to tap into a much broader market that is full of degens. And guess where the best way to get to that is? Well, it's crypto. So, yeah, this is a welcome mat for it. I've already talked about it, I've addressed it, and this is the chart for it. So, if we go all the way back to 2021 with GameStop, right, and Bitcoin, so GameStop is the one in blue, and Bitcoin dominance is the one in orange. Bitcoin dominance topped out on the initial run up to the upside on the GameStop stock. If we are looking at this and we're addressing where we are at now, I do think that we're getting very, very close. We're going to talk about why. Now, over here, remember, this is May 11th, 5 days ago, roughly. I said, we are closer than you think to making a ton of money. The only goal you should have is actually realizing the profits. And this was the chart. So in this picture, there's 3 zones. The bottom zone is the gray zone. That is our target point for Bitcoin dominance. And the 2 red zones are the outline of the 2021 major resistance zone where Bitcoin dominance topped out. Now, remember, Bitcoin dominance is in a diminished gains pattern where it's not going to break over 72%, in my opinion. Now, you might hear the idea that, oh, this time around it's different. We have ETFs. So that means that Bitcoin dominance is going to go crazy. It's nonsense. In my opinion, I do believe that this chart is close to a top, and that's why I have this red zone here going up to about roughly almost 60% where we do top out and we start to lead the path down to that red zone. Now, talking about that, as we do look at the crypto market right now, we are roughly around $66,000 on Bitcoin, and most of the market is in green on the 24-hour span. On the 7-day span, it's pretty much the same exact move on the 24-hour span. So most of those gains have been made in roughly the 24-hour span. If we look at the top 500 movers in the last 7 days, you could also see that across the board on a lot of these altcoins. Now, when it comes to XRP, when it comes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance, right? We are watching closely for that big move to the downside on dominance. This is what the chart looks like currently. And that is a monthly chart that I had. And this is what the monthly looks like, right? We're fighting some resistance here. And now we are starting to have a little bit of a breakout. Now, during this time, we really look for where are we headed. On the weekly, in my opinion, I still believe that we are going to do something like this down here that I have outlined. And I drew it out. This is probably about 2 weeks ago. And we were pretty much in this uptrend until it starts to turn. Now, we're getting close to the big points where we would see a major move to the downside. And that big point is trying to flip this support zone here at about roughly 58.23%. In my opinion, that is where we are going to see the largest amount of resistance on this chart. That's why I have this, area circled up here of roughly the like anywhere between like 58 percent to about roughly 60%. That is where I'm expecting that big sell off to occur on the Bitcoin and dominance chart. Now, that is when we start to see a lot of these altcoins go crazy versus their Bitcoin pairs. That's when we go over here to the altcoin market or the top crypto gainers and losers. And this is when we start to see some major gains like we are seeing right now across the board on meme coin. Now, some of these are not that crazy, but if we go to the last 30 days, you could pretty much see the big difference here. We're talking about those 58,000 or sorry, 5,800% moves that everyone's waiting on. That's what we will see essentially in Altseason. Now, talking about this, what about XRP? Well, back on May 1st, I put out a post saying so much frustration, hopelessness, and FUD has now infiltrated the timeline. XRP specifically has a lot of bearish sentiment surrounding it at a time where the Bitcoin pair and the dominance chart are ranging in an uptrend. Both of these charts have been historically oversold for a while. We are now witnessing the RSI creeping back up, and they have both crossed the moving average already. On this next leg up for Bitcoin, I fully expect the Bitcoin dominance chart to take its last and final move to the upside before ultimately chopping to the downside. And guess what? Bitcoin is moving to the upside, as we do see over here. It's $66,000. Now, are we out of the woods yet on that? Not yet, right? We're going to talk about that in a video probably tonight. But regardless, as we do look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, yes, this is going on its last move to the upside, in my opinion. Now, I said that what's going to happen next is it's going to chop to the downside. Run Bitcoin up to about roughly 70K, wipe the market by creating either a triple bottom around 59K or slightly wicking below around 56 to 58K, and then we go to 80 to 100K plus. And yes, I'm still expecting us to actually have that move to the downside of roughly sub 60K. It would be crazy and it would wipe out a lot of the market, but that's exactly what we want to see right before that big last wave to the upside. And I said during that move to 80 to 100K plus or whatever the Bitcoin maxes are claiming, I expect Bitcoin at dominance to lose momentum, and that will be the start of Altseason. Enjoy the show and embrace the blood. Now, this was both of the XRP dominance chart as well as the XRP Bitcoin chart. We look at the Bitcoin pair for XRP. It's doing exactly what we wanted it to do, which was selling off from the highs up here, and now we're just waiting for it to range, waiting for that dominance chart in terms of Bitcoin to break down. And that is going to full send XRP at least up to this next major area up here, roughly around, I would say like 1900 sats, somewhere within that range, before ultimately trying to break over this macro trend line that's been going all the way back to about roughly November of 2020 and even possibly October of 2019, guys. This has been a macro trend line that we've been fighting forever, waiting for a big break to the upside. Now, also, if we look at the XRP dominance chart, this one's very interesting because it's the same exact chart as the Bitcoin pair, where we're down into this red zone where almost all of the gains ever on XRP, and I'm talking about like the big gains, this is where they were made. Find the exact bottom in terms of the dominance chart right before a big move to the upside. Even if we look back here in 2021, right? Here's the bottom. Here was the top around April of 2021, again, fighting a major resistance level going back to roughly August of 2020, which we did break through in November. But guess what ended up happening? We got the SEC lawsuit dropped on us at the perfect time in the market to slow XRP down. But this time around, we're ranging here and we're waiting for that big momentum move to the upside to truly happen. And we have to watch the momentum behind it, because if there's not a lot, then it's not going to have a massive run up like everyone's expecting. But regardless, I do expect this chart to gain some momentum and break to at least roughly 6%, which is the November 2020 high. The reason why I'm expecting 6% or at least somewhere around that is because, again, there's a lot more substance here around XRP than back in 2020 and 2021. So we'll have to watch, wait, and see, and be patient But I am expecting XRP to have a very large move this alt season. Now, when is that going to happen? Well, we don't know. Nobody knows. We're waiting for this chart to top in terms of Bitcoin dominance. This is the big key that you want to watch for if you are positioned in altcoins or if you want to get into altcoins. You actually want to buy when this thing is at major resistance. And 58.23% is a major resistance zone on this chart. And I'm not expecting much high or at least higher percentages from there, because I do think that this thing is close to being topped out after having such a massive run up off of the lows of 2022. I mean, it was already up about roughly 50%. Right now, it's up about roughly 44%. Even if we go back in time to some bear market lows, back here, the Bitcoin dominance chart ran roughly 106%. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, like, oh, well, that means that it's going to run up another 106%, right? Technically, no. And the reason why I say that is because we are in diminished gains territory. Even if we were at half of this, right? We'll say, roughly like, I don't know, like a 50.3%, it would just take us to about roughly like 58.42% on this chart. That's what we're looking at. Even if we went to 53%, so half of this 106% move, it would be about roughly almost 60%. Anywhere within this range, I am sold on becoming an altcoin maxi for the rest of the cycle. And the reason why I say that is because guess what? It's time to get into altcoins at that time, because that means that Bitcoin dominance is going to be at the weakest point in a very long time. That's the major resistance zone up there. And I'm still expecting this uptrend to ultimately be topped out and have that major sell-off back into this gray zone down here, which is where most of the gains, in fact, all of the gains, the major gains, will be made on altcoin. Now, where is XRP going, right? What price are we looking for XRP? Well, right now, if XRP had the market cap of Solana, we would be sitting at about roughly $1.32, roughly a 2.5x. That's not much. Over here, BNB, about roughly a 3.12x, $1.62. And then also Ethereum, 12.61x to about roughly $6.55. That's Ethereum right now. We're not even talking about the all-time highs. I am expecting, on the low end, very conservative, at least $5 to $7. Guys, that's a very conservative price prediction. But I do think that XRP could ultimately challenge Ethereum's all-time high and go to $10.32, a roughly 20x return, almost to about roughly $572 billion in market cap. Even if we had the all-time high of BNB, we're only looking at about roughly $2. Solana, roughly almost $1.63. That's not much. In my opinion, I do believe that XRP is going to make a new all-time high this run-up. And I also believe that XRP is going to, it's going into price discovery this time around. And the big focus point is the initial $5 to $7. We're going to take profits along the way. Make sure that you are paying yourself. Make sure that you're not just bag holding for a specific target. But we're going to take profits along the way. And at key levels, we are going to sell percentages of our bag and keep a percentage on the sidelines as a moon bag just in case. But I am not selling XRP, in my opinion, and this is my plan, until $5 at least. Why? Because it just doesn't make sense for me to sell any of my XRP until we hit $5. I'm not here for, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x return. I'm here for 10x plus returns. That's why we are in crypto. If I wanted to get, other returns, I would just jump into stocks. But regardless, I do think that XRP is going to challenge Ethereum this time around. And I do think that XRP could very well flip Ethereum this time around. And a lot of people have called me crazy for saying that, but think about it. XRP this time around is on every single major exchange. It doesn't have the SEC in their way. XRP has a lot more going on in terms of the XRP ledger, and a lot of the endeavors happening around the XRP ledger are extremely bullish for XRP. I do think that XRP does have the potential to hit a roughly $600 billion market cap this time around, especially with how much money is going to flow into the space, or at least we believe how much money is going to flow into the space with ETFs. You have institutions, you have a lot of the meme coin craze happening, or meme stock craze happening around these stocks. I do think that we are in for a major run up to the upside, and I do think that XRP has been ready for a major move for a very long time, and it's only a matter of time now. All we have to do is be a little bit patient, and I know that that sounds crazy because XRP holders have been like the most patient in history technically, but I do think that this thing is ready for a big move to the upside, where we have that big, move where there's a ton of momentum behind it and a lot of FOMO. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for some free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.